Hey everybody, it's your Survivor buddy Gordon Holmes here with the nerdiest thing you're gonna do all week. I'm talking about the Survivor Power Rankings for season 46, and I am pleased as punch to welcome Survivor 45 finalist Austin Lee Coon to the show. Welcome, Austin.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So
So,
excited to be here. Been watching the past couple seasons of this and ready to beat you.
oh my god, Frannie. Here's the thing. I was gonna be like, why is Frannie here? I'll tell you why Frannie's here. Also, welcome, Frannie.
Yeah, hello. I'm really glad to be here too. Go ahead, give the exposition.
All right, I'm getting it. Like, forget it. Like the gauntlet's been thrown.
Yeah.
I kind of got my rear end handed to me the last two seasons by Austin and our buddy Owen Knight. So I read all the comments, and the comments are like, "Well, Gordon, maybe you should pick a dummy for season 46." And I'm like, I don't think there is a dummy in season 46. Also, not how I do business. I want the best of the best when I come out of this losing streak. So I said to Austin, Austin, I need you to bring me the dominant alliance from your season. I need the Reba Four. And Austin said, you got it. And then he said, oh, wait, D is doing Jeff Probst's podcast. And okay, so we get it. So no D. So we got the Reba Three. But I said, there's got to be another person who is smart and savvy and beautiful from that season. And I was right. So Kellie is filling out the Reba Four. So it's going to be the Reba Four minus 4 plus 1. Squaring off against me and my Avengers, Owen Knight and Frannie Marin, and maybe some surprises too. Who even knows? They're like all bets are off what's happening this season. So that's what's happening. A team effort. And tonight, today, this afternoon, whenever you're watching it, it's going to be Frannie squaring off against Austin. I will simply be the facilitator for this event. So welcome both of you. Austin, don't get too cocky because I have two dominant champions on my side. So welcome. Welcome.
Yeah,
Both.
you know what? We've got the Reba 4 in another universe, and I think it would have been just as powerful. So let's get this going. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm going to be so biased. Like, as a host, I should be like,
Yeah.
oh, come on. No, come on, Frannie.
Well, I know. I'm very curious about this because honestly, Gordon, and like maybe I should, I shouldn't say this and set the tone a certain way, but like if we lose as a team, then I will question if you're the problem. So Owen and I both like beat you kind of by a lot. I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
So it's sort of like, what's the common denominator if we don't do well? I'll be asking myself is all I'm saying.
Okay, well, here's how I defend myself. Frannie reached out to Owen and I yesterday and said, should we do these as a team or should we do them individually? And Owen's like, I trust you. And I'm like, I trust you. So there's going to be weekly scores as to how we do. When this is all said and done, if we lose, and we're not gonna, we can always say, oh, well, Owen lost us 2 points and Frannie lost us 7 points, and Gordon was +7, so it's clearly not his fault. So there's a bit of wiggle room in this for me as far as that goes, Frannie. So maybe don't be so quick to hold me responsible. We also need a team name. If you have any thoughts for a team name, put them in the comment section below.
Shoot. Yeah, we need one too. So comment that.
Reba 4 minus 1 plus 4. Boom. It's not catchy.
No, yeah. That could be the stand-in name for this episode.
Stand-in name.
We'll get a better one.
So yeah, let us know in the comment section what do you think good team names are. I like Team Gordon. Team Holmes kind of has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue. Really.
Yeah, it's very catchy. So the premiere was the other night, and we got 2 hours of goodness. Jelinski. Ooh, I said that boy, Brandon must be psyched that somebody's having a way worse premiere than he did because just unforced era after unforced era. Frannie, start us off. What were your takes on that premiere?
Yeah, well, first of all, I did get a text from Brandon Donlin, and he said, this is the best I've felt in months. So I think that he's really, feels really good about this. Yeah, I felt bad for Jelinski. I think that any one of the things that he did in isolation was probably not enough for everyone to turn against him, but they just like snowballed and snowballed. And then the next thing you know, it's like, how could it not be Jelinski? Like he's made so many errors. Yeah, I think he's also quite young. And he's not that much younger than I was when I played, so I feel comfortable saying this. Like, I think that's a big factor. I think he, comes in. He's also a ton younger than everyone else on his tribe. So maybe feels like he has to prove himself or feels a little bit fish out of water, ends up making these decisions that he doesn't even really seem to stand behind. Like you see him going back and forth, like, I would never quit except for the time that I quit. And then the other time that I also quit, yeah, he was sweet, but that was it was a rough premiere for him to be certain.
Austin, how you feeling about our poor buddy Jelinski?
I thought he was a great character, and I do think he did make a lot of mistakes, but I don't know. I feel like he didn't necessarily make the wrong decisions. Like if you truly believe that you can't finish the sweat task, why waste your effort and do it? Obviously, it'll look bad. And he should have been able to kind of like guess and understand that Q was going to like be upset at him for quitting. And for that reason, he shouldn't have quit. But I think it is a waste to waste all of your energy. I mean, that 3 hours of carrying that's so many calories that you're not going to get at all. And it's just like it damages your legs, your arms, your morale, everything. So I think that alone, like if truly he didn't think they could get it, then yeah, that was not the wrong move. Also, I feel like with that card game at the journey, like getting the skull, automatically he gets put in a terrible position. Like I think if any of the other two got the skull, who knows what would have happened? Maybe they would have played it better, but I think you're just put in a really horrible spot where you have to lie, and you're either playing for the long game by being like, listen, you know, I don't want to lie to you all, which is kind of what he did, but he did it poorly a little bit. Or you could play for the short-term game, which is to get that extra vote, lie to them, but then have potential enemies later on. So I think like the moves he made, the decisions he made weren't bad. I think he just went about it in a bad way. Like when he came back from the journey, went back to his camp and was like, oh yeah, you know, I gave him extra votes, but it's okay. You know, they could work with us later, you know, stuff like I think he should have come back with a better, tighter story, explain his rationale better. Because obviously the tribe didn't buy it, and that was kind of his like final nail in the coffin. I think the decision itself wasn't bad. Just how he went about it, how he described and explained to his tribe was pretty bad.
Okay, so
I agree with this wholeheartedly. I just have to say, like, I've been like noodling on this the past couple of days because I also think the sweat challenge is just like it's so bad. I mean, on my season, like the people who did the sweat challenge were either like injured or like passed out the next day because they just lost so many calories. But yeah, it's like he had kind of decent logic, but then I feel like he wasn't aware enough of who he was communicating with to think through the best way to like explain his logic or like go through it. Yeah.
Right. Who do we think had the best premiere? Austin, you want to start us off?
Breast is this going into our power rankings? I think
No, just the fun.
You know, okay, I'll say Tevin had an awesome, you know, the opening monologue. I mean, that is one of a kind, epic episode. He's shown the entire episode. He was just shining bright. Like he had a great episode. You know, Tiffany also had a great episode. Locking in a good alliance, finding an idol. A lot of decent episodes. I think when you look back at 45, it was like everyone had a bad episode. Except for a couple people. I feel like for 46, most people had a fairly decent episode, I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say Tevin as well. I thought he just like totally popped off the screen. And I feel like I came away from the premiere with so many favorites, like so many people that I'm really, really excited about, which I think is a good way to feel like going into the season.
Yeah. Maria, like,
yes.
I remember sitting there and be like, oh, what a fun little game. And the second she made it about the larger game, I was like, oh, this is terrible. They can never do this again. Like, I was like, what a clever, fun little exercise. And she just was like, mic drop. They can never do it again. She's a genius. Good on her. Speaking of which, this is actually Franny's idea. We were wondering about if there's a way to play that game online. We think we figured that out. We're going to do a little exercise where we try to play the game with the cards. I have an actual deck of cards, and what we've decided is, so for starters, I'm going to be Maria. So I have the torch, and I'm going to hold up a card, and now this is going to be Franny's card. And if it's red, that means she has the vote, and if it's black, that means she has the skull, and I have to figure it out. So I am holding up a card. Can you see it?
Oh, wait. Well, I had to close my eyes first. I need to reshuffle. I saw.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, wait, yeah, you're right. You're the torch. You're the torch. Okay.
I'm the torch. So this is Franny's card. Do you know what it is?
Okay. Yes, right, I know what it is.
I would know what card you got anyways if I knew. Okay, we're good. I forgot that you are officially the torch person. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so I'm the Maria. All right. Frannie, which card do you have?
Okay, this is good because I was actually feeling very nervous that I was going to be the one who like proposed this game and then was going to tank at it. And maybe I will still tank, but I'm feeling better because I have the vote card and I don't have to lie about it. So I have the vote card. And if you want to ask follow-ups, please go ahead. I'm sorry, Austin. It's a rough start.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, clearly like she had that prepared. Like she was ready to say that. Yes. Are you kidding me? Because that was like so smooth. How did you just come up with that on the spot with the skull card? Like what?
And if you remember, the first thing that Jelinski said was like, "I'm not going to lie to you," which is like that's the thing you say when you're going to lie.
Thank you. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean,
the truth. What am I supposed to say?
Like Okay, well, I'm happy because I'm
Why
chill.
don't you know what to say, Austin? Why don't you know what to say?
Well, I was gonna say, if I had the skull card, I would not know what to say. I wasn't prepared for this, like you were, clearly, coming in with this game idea. So I'm chilling now, knowing that I could actually just tell the truth and be, whatever, and just watch you blow your own game up,
Okay, so I actually think Frannie has the vote card.
Yeah.
I guess.
Is that right? You do?
Yeah.
You know what it was?
Damn, Austin, you did that well though. That was really
That
good.
was very good. It was your reaction coming back when we thought you were like, I was like, wow, that's.
Yeah, I
That's
was
a good one.
I was ready to fight. I was ready to start.
and Frannie and I are best friends. That too.
That's we do have a cosmic connection.
That's a better read.
Yeah.
All right, Frannie,
I'm glad that's out of the way now.
Frannie, Frannie's going to be the Maria now, and we'll give. Look away.
Oh my God! Don't make me do this again. Okay.
Look away. All right. So this is my card. So you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
I see it.
Okay. Can I come back?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Austin, I'll let you go first this time.
Well, I actually really want Gordon to go first while he's still trying to figure out what to say. Is that fine?
Oh,
go ahead, Gordon.
I don't know what kind
Hold
of.
on.
Oh, should I go?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what kind of big buildup to give when it's just like it was my card. It was a red card. I have the red card, so I'm the vote.
Austin, do you have a rebuttal for that?
Okay, no. I have the red card. He flipped it up. It was like a 9 of clubs. He said, "This is my card. Put it away." I mean, and that's what it is. And I was very curious to see how he would like navigate through that, how he would try lying. Which I think it was good, but
Was
no,
it good?
I have the red
Was
card.
my lie good?
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna go with Austin. Austin,
With the
you have
vote.
Yeah.
I
Nope.
don't.
You
have
did?
the vote.
Did
No,
you?
sorry.
Oh, see ya. God.
I hate this. Why did I have to lie twice? This is the worst.
This is hard. It's hard,
right.
but you did a good job. You did a good
Yeah,
job
well,
both times.
Austin won.
Actually.
All
Yeah,
right,
Gordon,
oh,
you were
man.
telling the truth in a very suspicious way. It was really
I
interesting.
know.
You know, so actually funny story, like I was watching the 46 premiere with like half the 45 cast, and then after we got back to the Airbnb and we played this game too.
Oh,
Yes.
And I was truth both times. So like that was easy for me, but like easier just to like not have to lie and everything. But I wonder what is like the best strategy? Like if you get skull, what are you supposed to do?
I feel like I started off well, and then I should have, like, I got a little funnier than I needed to. Be like, I lied. So I feel like I started, and I lost. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, so that's my.
Yeah,
You
were being too cute with it. Too cute.
Oh, I can't help it. All right, do we want to do Austin?
Yeah, sure.
Away.
So you're the torch.
Okay, so this is
way.
Frannie's card.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sweet. I mean,
Let's
I don't
see.
know. We've done this before. I'm chilling again with the vote card. I'm sorry, Gordon.
Okay.
All right, Gordon, let's hear you.
No, my lesson learned is not to be cute, so I have the vote card. And again, I don't know how to make it any more accurate.
Y'all aren't giving me much this time.
Ask us
Y'all have
questions.
improved. Whoever has the skull card is not giving anything away. Like there's literally no information that I have. Okay. Can someone tell me what the first card was?
Oh, I actually don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just held it up. It's Frannie. It was a black card. So.
Well, no, it was red. It's definitely like, I think it was like a 7 of hearts. Is that?
Okay. I think Frannie had the vote.
Nope.
No, I had the skull.
So I'm very untrustworthy is what I'm learning.
Yeah,
That's
the conclusion that we can draw from this is Gordon is just really suspicious.
It's not like you're bad or whatever. I'm untrustworthy. Like a bad.
Well, no, I felt like your answer was like too far into the like playing like I don't have it. Like, it's like being so straightforward. I don't know. I was just pulling anything I could figure out.
No, I get it.
Know.
It hurts.
I had no info there. Yes,
It
bro.
does.
Very
So-
stone cold.
And maybe the flip side is that Gordon, you're good at reading people, and maybe Austin and I are just not.
Oh. Well, I did extremely well on my season of Survivor, so I mean, I guess that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
truth.
Yeah,
Really
and I did
crushed
get
it.
blindsided, so yeah, not as good at
Same.
reading, I guess, So yeah, it's something we got to work on.
All right. So, are you guys ready to do some actual power ranking?
Thank
Yeah.
goodness, I'm done with
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Let's never speak of that again. All right, the rules for the Survivor Power Rankings are as follows. Each week, a member from each team will create separate power rankings. The ranking of the person who is voted out of the next episode will determine the number of points the players will earn. For example, if Kenzie is voted out of this episode and Austin has her in 5th place and Frannie has her in 4th place, Austin's team will receive 5 points and Frannie's team will receive 4 points. At the end of the season, the team with the most points will be named the Survivor 46 Power Rankings Challenge champion. However, rankings are not based on who the player thinks is most likely to win.
No, come on.
How long's it been, Frannie?
Yeah, sorry. It's a delay. It wasn't me. I was really on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The smart strategy in this game is to rank players based on how safe you think they are in the upcoming vote. All right, you ready to go?
Let's do this.
Ready.
I'm ready.
Austin, lead us off with spot 1.
All right. For number 1, I have Charlie. I feel like in this episode, he insulated himself so well. Literally everyone wants to work with him on Siga Tribe. So the women, they singled him out as the one person that they all wanted to work with. Ben made a comment about how they're like a tight duo as well. And Tim, he went up to him saying also like, hey, we got to take out a woman. Everyone went to him. I think he is probably the safest person into this next vote, next episode. And, another fun thing, too, is like after he and Ben failed the Savvy puzzle and he went back, no one was upset. They were all like, oh, thanks for volunteering, whatever. If they weren't well liked, it could have been a completely opposite story. You would have seen confessionals, people being like, oh, we got to get them out. They're lying, whatever. Like they screwed us over. But everyone was happy. So everyone likes Charlie, I think. So I think he's in a great spot.
Damn it. Frannie,
Yeah, that's really good rationale.
Very insightful. Son of a come on. All right, Frannie.
I came prepared for my
Show him who's
team.
boss, Frannie. Show him who's boss.
No. Okay. So I first of all love Charlie as a first pick. I think you're totally right about that reasoning, and I'll get to him when I get to him. But I actually have Tevin in my number 1 spot. Maybe this is me being biased just because I came off the episode thinking Tevin was super awesome. But I also think that he is similarly kind of in a social center of what appears to be the like strongest or most communicative tribe. Both challenges, Nami, I think, Orange, is that right? Nami was like far ahead of the other 2 groups. And I think he's in a really good position within that group. You see Soda coming to him and talking about other people on the tribe, which I feel like is always a really good sign. If you're willing to like have an open conversation about how you feel about other people with someone, then you two must be quite close and not have it backfire like Brandon, which we'll get to later. And then also we have the like Andy Griffith alliance, which was so cute with Tevin and Hunter. I also feel like Tevin is like a good vibes guy, is bringing the energy. I just cannot see him going home. Oh wait, and excuse me, he has an extra vote. So he's doing wonderful.
What?
Boom.
All right, Frannie, who you got in spot 2?
Okay, spot 2, I have the other half of the Andy Griffith alliance. I have Hunter. I just thought this alliance was so cute. I think Hunter is also coming off as really sweet, really hardworking, and like very socially aware. I love that he was like annoyed in this episode about the camp songs, but didn't use that as fodder for like complaining, but instead used it as an opportunity to make an alliance. I thought that was really, really good gameplay. And I think he's very unlikely to go from like a strength perspective, survival perspective, should that Nami tribe go to tribal council.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point about the campfire song, because how many times have we seen it? This person's annoying me, they gotta go. Instead, so that's a great point, Frannie.
Yeah, I just thought that was really good.
See Austin?
See? Yeah.
You know what?
That was really good.
That's my girl.
You know what? I think we're gonna have a pretty similar list. A lot of these, because a lot of these reasons that there's true. Like I have Tevin as my number 2. Like you said, insulated with an extra vote, had great energy on a stacked tribe that was like far and away seeming to be like dominating every single challenge. He also is like very social, getting along with everyone. I think later on in the game, perhaps he's almost like too social, I feel. I think in the early game it's great, but that could kind of bite him a little bit later. But for the next episode, he's so safe. I mean, everyone wants to work with him. Frannie mentioned the conversation with Soda. I think that was huge. So yeah, I have Tevin as number 2. Number 3, then I just jump into that, right? Like a little snake. Okay.
Like
number 3.
A season pro, this guy.
I have Tiffany from Yanu tribe. So Tiffany, obviously, she had a fantastic episode. She has an idol. Also, there's a couple things I want to talk about that. Like, first, can we talk about how like they don't have to sacrifice votes this season? Like, what the heck? Like, it took me 7 days to get an idol, and then I had to sacrifice my vote multiple times to turn it into a regular idol. Whereas it took one episode, they got the idol, and it's a full-fledged idol. Like, it's whatever. Anyways, she has a great idol already. She has a power duo with Kenzie. She's super fun and friendly. And I think she's probably the strongest woman on the Yanu tribe too. So if they ever try taking out, physicality, then she's probably going to be one of the safest ones too. Another interesting thing too is I remember reading on one of her pregame interviews how she's bashing players who couldn't keep their mouths shut and who told other people about their idols when she immediately did so the first, before the first tribal. I just thought that was funny because like I did the same thing. I came to the game, I'm not telling anyone about idols, and then I tell people about the idols. So it's just funny to see like, how quickly things change for people when they actually get into the game. But nonetheless, like she's my number 3.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. It's so funny with that, like, because I had that thought too, Austin. It's so funny. I feel like I used to take the pregame content like really, really seriously, and assume that it gave really clear kind of indication of how people would play. Now, having done it, I'm like, you're just kind of saying stuff sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, okay, my favorite players, they did this and this. I'm gonna do that too. But then you're out there like, okay, that doesn't work like that.
Well, when I used to go out, I would be like, how do you feel about hunger? How do you feel about sleep deprivation? How do you feel about paranoia? Just to kind of get like a baseline so that after the fact, when they are doing things they didn't anticipate doing, just a perfect example of you don't know. Like, it's one thing to be well fed, sitting at a table with a reporter. It's another thing to be 13 days into this starving and bug bites everywhere. So it's not easy. I'm sure you both would absolutely attest to this.
100%.
Can confirm, not easy. Yeah.
Yeah. The weight
awesome.
that having a secret holds on you that you gotta like share it almost. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, I would blab. I know we're all sitting here like Jelinski folded in the cards thing. I would probably, if I was actually there, also fold it.
Like, I can't buy like a gift for my wife for without being like immediately being like, let's check it out. So yeah, I get it.
Okay. In my spot 3, I think Austin, we're kind of locked right in because I have Charlie. I think everything you said about him is right. He's in a wonderful spot. Also seems like aware of his positioning. You see him talking about this alliance with the women and, sort of talking with Tim and Ben. I just think he's in a really, really wonderful spot. And that tribe seems to be like communicating well and getting along well. In my spot 4, I have Kenzie. Now, I put her above Tiffany in that, power duo on Yanu. I agree. I think they're kind of like the core of the tribe right now, at least what we've been shown. The reason I put her a little bit higher is just because, one, I mean, she told us that she's incredibly social. She's in the beauty industry. Like she's used to doing this. And I think early days, that is going to work really well for her. Almost like what you were saying with Tevin, I could see if she gets further into the game, that becoming a problem. But for this beginning spot, I think she's doing wonderfully. And then Tiffany, it could get out that she has this idol. And I think that could become dangerous, which is why I just have her like a smidge lower than Kenzie. But ultimately, I think they're both great if Yanu ends up going back to tribal council.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yeah. Okay. Back to me. And I think we're about to full circle this whole list. We're going to have all repeats because at my number 4, I have Hunter with everything you said. Nice. I think, the fact that they highlighted that bromance, the Andy Griffith alliance, gives me some flashbacks of me and Drew out there, having a little bromance. So I'm rooting for them. And he, like, one thing that's really cool about him, I think that's really like good for him as a player is that like he is a triple threat for sure. He's really smart. He's social despite being introverted, and he's really athletic and strong. And despite all that, I feel like he's not like outwardly threatening. Like people don't look at him and think like, we got to get rid of this guy because he's quiet. He hangs in the back, but he's still like, you can see him in the challenges. Like he has a big presence on the tribe. He's doing the puzzles. He's leading the physical part. Like he's really like moving the tribe forward in these challenges. And I don't think that they could risk getting rid of him, at least yet. I could see once again, if we get the merge and people realize how big of a threat he is, but as of now, I think he's really, really safe.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm like, in what world is he ruffling anybody's feathers?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, he just seems so sweet, especially compared to some of the other people on the tribe who might be already like causing problems.
And like you said, like when he didn't like something happening with the camp songs and everything, he didn't blow it up and make it a big thing. He was just like laughed about it, brought up with Tevin, be like, oh, like I love that you guys are so extroverted and singing all this. And like that's what you want to do to not paint a target on your back. And he's doing that really well.
Totally.
And then for number 5, I have Kenzie. So just a couple below where I put Tiffany. Like you said, like everyone wants to work with her. She's really social. Banu and Jess both went up to her. She has a 3 alliance with Q and with Tiffany. She has all the information, knows the idol, who has it, and all that. She was the first person that Tiffany told about the idol. So I think she's just like in a really strong, like informational position. She gets all the information. She's at the hub of the tribe. So I think she's really safe too. The only reason why I put her a little bit lower than Tiffany is I think, if they're like, oh, we gotta save the strength, she is likely to be taken out before Tiffany.
Yeah, I did find it kind of funny that she was the one who seemed to be pushing really hard this week for strength and wanting to get Jessica out. And I was like, oh, like if Jessica goes, like it might be you.
Yep. Yeah.
But I think she's ultimately okay as well.
All right. I wonder if we're gonna stay aligned in the next couple.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll hop into my number 5 because we're keeping it really tight, but I'm wondering if after this it will diverge. In my 5th spot, I have Tiff as well. I think that, like we've been saying, they are in a really good position. They're getting information. They seem to have a strong relationship with Q as well, but also like bringing Banu in. And she's got the idol. That's huge. You can't even forget about that. So I have her in spot 5.
You're both doing great. And like I said, you're all very, like everything's very similar. Could you like insult each other or something or anything?
Your picks are trash, Frannie.
Talk a little more.
I know, we're too complimentary.
Terrible takes.
I know, because the insight's amazing. The insight is 5 stars, but come on.
I know. I'm like, it's such a good job from Austin. The best power ranker ever.
He is our enemy.
Yeah.
Mercy is for the weak. We do not train to be merciful here.
And in my spot 6, again, wondering if we might not have the same person right here. I have Q, because he is, again, in this, I think, core alliance on Yanu. I actually do think that Yanu might go back to Tribal Council, just based on how poorly they performed in these first 2 challenges. But Q is just like so strong. I think that both Tiff and Kenzie like him and trust him and want to continue to work with him. He also got his way this week. So clearly there, something worked well with his communication with those 2 in terms of getting out Jelinski. And I just cannot see him getting voted out here.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, but I don't have him as high. And I think we finally are going to start moving around in this and we can start throwing shots at each other. So, okay. Yeah, I agree that I'm kind of nervous that Yanu is going to go back to Tribal Council. So I put him a little bit lower for that reason. But for my number 6, I have Maria. I think she had an absolute, great episode. Like even just like the first challenge, like where she was carrying that piece on her back and running back and her whole tribe was like going crazy. Like she's strong physically. She has a really strong, like at the journey, she obviously crushed it, getting Jelinski to fold his cards and give the information when he was originally lying. Like that was an excellent move. I think she has, a real good brain for the game and played that really well. I think she's pretty safe too. The women want to work with her. Jem and Mariah both said they really like Maria. Tim wants to keep her around because they've got this whole parents thing. And I think Tim puts a little bit more weight into that than Maria might. I think she's really solid. I don't think she's going anywhere next vote.
Oh, we're diverging.
Yes, we are. And then on number 7, I have Soda. So Soda, hilarious person. She's really loud, unapologetic, which, similarly to what I've said about a couple other people, it could bite her maybe later in the game. But I think right now in the short term, it maybe just gives her a little bit more power, a little more influence within the tribe. She seems like she's getting along with people, even though Hunter's annoyed at her singing camp songs, she wasn't annoying enough for him to, want to fight with her about it. So clearly, like, she's still an important piece to his game, and he's in a good spot. And I think just overall, Nami is just they're going to be safe. I don't think they're going to tribal council, so I think she's in a good spot. There's also a really funny moment in the episode where Nami gets the immunity for winning the challenge, and then Soda rips it out of Venus's hands and hands it to everyone else. So I wonder what that means. Was it just like just happened, or was it like a targeted thing? In which case that could spell a little bit of danger to one or the other. But I like to just think I'm thinking it's just like it was just like a random thing that happened. There was no bad intentions behind it, but it was still really funny.
I think of it as
funny.
Yeah, as like an unforced error, like something you do that could hurt you that doesn't really benefit you at all. And that's like she had a great episode. I adore Soda, but that felt like because Venus did react. She like, and hopefully, I think it's to Venus's benefit to work with Soda. But yeah, that was a bit of an unforced error.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. We're diverging for sure. And I'll just say, I feel like my next like three, because Austin, as I'm hearing you, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be like taking shots, but I'm instead now discounting mine. What I was going to say is, as I hear you go through your order and give your explanations, I'm like, oh God, that's a really good point. Like you should put that person higher. But I'm going to stay true to what I'm doing. Gordon's like looking.
We need this.
No, I know.
We need this.
I know.
You need to set the tempo. You need to set the tempo for Team Holmes.
I'm very highly confident. Okay.
I'm hoping you say something that I have really low, just to.
Yeah. Okay. In spot 7, I'm confident. I've made my choices. I have Jem. The reason I have Jem here, first of all, Gordon doesn't look happy. Well, yeah, you want to be supportive or what?
I'm not angry.
Okay. I feel like Jem, it was kind of a quieter premiere episode for her, but we were shown that she's in, I think, a similarly like good insulated position on what's the Green Tribe? Siga. We see her forming this relationship with Mariah. I kind of got the sense that she had pulled in Maria a little more. And then as we've discussed, it seems like they might be bringing in Charlie. I think that if that group goes to tribal and if the women's alliance comes under fire, like if Tim's able to pull Charlie if something goes wrong, I don't think that she'll be considered the biggest threat of those 3 to go home, which is why I have her in this spot here. And then in spot 8, I'm keeping the people tight together. I have Mariah right after Jem. I will get to her when I get to her, but I think if Tim's opinion about the women's alliance being a problem gains traction, I think that Maria has kind of the biggest spotlight on her and might be the one in trouble there, which is why I have both Jem and Mariah higher, because I just don't really see things turning on them specifically should that group go to tribal.
Yeah.
Gordon, your faces are making me really nervous.
They need to use that extra vote at their next tribal, correct? It's not something they get to hold on to. Is that accurate? Or am I remembering that incorrectly?
I was actually had a question about that too. I think that is accurate because I think someone described it as like I have to use it in my next tribal or something.
Okay.
Which is another reason.
Well then they're fine. Yeah.
Okay, so for my number 8, I think the next couple we're converging again, sadly. For my number 8, I have Q. Everything you said, I think he's got a ton of influence in his tribe. He's got tons of competence. He's the strongest person, probably on the entire beach. So especially with the loss of Jelinski, they're going to probably be a little bit more nervous to send home Q. That said, I feel like Yanu could be a tribe where they throw the rule book out the window and just start voting random people out. That's why he's not, like 1, 2, 3 or whatever. I have him at 8. I think he's safe. He's put into the main alliance with Tiffany and Kenzie. And he seemed to have a lot of power. He's the one who convinced everyone to switch the votes to Jelinski. So have him as number 8. Number 9, I kind of flipped your Jem and Mariah. I have Mariah as number 9. I just felt that I didn't really have a huge read on who I wanted to put ahead between Mariah and Jem. I thought that maybe Mariah had a slightly, better relationship with like Charlie and the guys, but I'm not really sure. I don't know where that came from. I could just be making that up, but I think they're pretty much tied together, Mariah and Jem. And I think the women in Siga have the power at this moment with the extra vote in Maria. They're working together as a group. They already have Charlie as another option. So I don't think either or any of the women in Siga are going to go home next. So I have Mariah as number 9.
Totally. Yeah. I think that that's a great read. And I also think she's talked about how she's maybe like a little awkward, a little like
Mhm.
unassuming or something. And I think that that makes her seem non-threatening.
Yeah.
Which is good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Awesome. Yeah, we're definitely just, I think, converging. Maybe it was just like felt like a clear premiere, maybe.
Yeah, it was
was
2
really
hours,
hoping.
a lot of camp life, very clear cut who won this journey, who lost this journey, who got this idol, who
Right.
knows, I think this premiere did a really good job of showing where everyone stood.
Yeah, I was really
Though
I was hoping Austin was going to be worse at this. If we're being honest.
Yeah. I know. I was hoping that too. But I think that I also would love if episode 2 like flips us on our heads and proves us wrong about
Yes,
everything. I
agreed.
think that'd be really fun. But that being said, in spot 9, I do have Soda. Yeah, I think that she's in a good position as well. We see her, like I mentioned long ago with Tevin in spot 1, is seen having this strong relationship with him. I think she really astutely clocked that Randon might not be a great alliance member. He might be willing to go around and say stuff about anyone that he doesn't trust in a fleeting whim. The one concern I had for her, and the reason why she is a little bit lower, is though we saw Hunter complaining about the camp songs in confessional but not to others, I feel like that could grate on people as you get a little bit deeper into the game. I think the first 3 days it's like, woo, we're fun, we're on Survivor. People get a little hungrier, a little more tired, and they're gonna be like, big booty is not what I want to be hearing like all day long. So yeah, I think that she's she's still right in the middle of the pack here in my rankings, but I just could see that becoming a problem for her. In spot 10, I have Maria. I think, again, she's kind of also right in the middle of the pack. So astute in this first episode. I thought she did just like a really, really wonderful job in a lot of different encounters. And the reason I have her this low is because I was like, is it too wonderful? Like, we see Tim kind of identifying this women's alliance, and I actually don't put as much holding value, Austin, as like you maybe do with that parents alliance that we saw.
Yeah.
I feel like Tim now seems more concerned about a women's alliance.
Yeah.
And Maria like blatantly told everyone she now has an extra vote. So now she might be perceived as more of a threat. I think they were all really wowed by her performance in the Marooning challenge, wowed by the way she swindled Jelinski out of, giving up his vote. So she may have just like a smidge too much attention early on.
Yep.
But yeah, she's not even the lowest on Sika. So I think she's probably still okay.
Yeah. We've got the same people left on Sega. So for number 10, I kind of spoiled it earlier. I have Jem there, pretty much just tied with Mariah. Like you said, she didn't really get a ton this first episode, so it was hard to get much of a read outside of the alliance with the women. But like I said, I think the women are pretty safe in Sega right now. So Heather's 10. Number 11, I have Venus. I think the only point where she is in big trouble is if Nami decides to go after challenge strength. She would then be on the block. Randon also clocked her as a Parvati-like threat. And she got caught searching for idols by Randon on day 1. But the reason why I have her at 11 instead of, like 17, 16, 15 or whatever, is like after Venus or Randon then went over to, I think, Soda to be like, hey, like, Venus is sneaky, blah, blah. Soda stuck up for Venus and went to Venus and told her about it. So that tells me Venus is actually like not in a terrible position within the tribe. People are going to her with information when bad things are said that she did. So because of that, I think she's in a better spot than Randon. And I think she is probably not going to go. But this one, I was sort of like, she could go a little lower, but I have her as 11.
Yeah, that's a great point about Soda's decision, because she could have held on to that for a later time. She could have figured out who she wanted to work with because they weren't going to tribal. But the fact that she had Venus's back, I think that's a pretty savvy pick, having Venus probably more safe on her tribe than others.
Thank you.
Her
opponent.
a little lower. We'll get to her when we get to her.
All right, so in previous season, if I had defeated Frannie in our seasons of Power Rankings, I would have gotten to be the maid of honor at her wedding. She's not engaged that I know of, but like down the line, someday it was going to happen. Yeah. So Frannie, if you cost our team this win, I'm in maid of honor. I'm putting that out there, like that.
Yeah, no, you and Owen can be like co-maids of honor.
Yeah, because I still have the speech. And it is
It's planned.
It's a tearjerker, I'll tell you that. So
Wow.
I'm
We
glad I
don't get
can't.
it for winning. You get it for being part of the losing
If
team.
she costs us the win,
Yeah,
'cause
wait a second.
it's entirely possible it could be me.
Yeah.
And not shocking.
You can all be in the wedding party. It's okay. Everyone can be part of it. Yeah.
Reba Four, -1+4, and then Owen and I as your maids of honor.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue.
Deal.
So yeah, okay. So we'll see how this goes. But I still feel actually confident in my we'll get to Venus when we get to her. In spot 11, I have Liz. I think she was actually the person that I struggled the most with placing because I think we got the least from her this episode about her like position strategically or her thoughts strategically. I know that she has a lot of allergies and I know that she has 4 businesses and sold 2, and that's about all I know about her. The only reason she's this low is because there's that like comment from Tevin about how, you know, she shouldn't be talking about money and stuff. But I also think that, you know, if that tribe had gone to tribal first, maybe that puts heat on her and maybe that comment is a problem. I feel like past day 3, you know, whatever you said when you were sitting in the water washing off mud is kind of like far back in people's minds. And she seems to be like vibing well socially with the tribe. She seems to be in on like the kind of fun exuberance that like Tevin and Soda are bringing. So that's why I have her like low middle, just because I feel like I don't know. For number 12, I have Ben from Siga. He was another one that was like a little difficult for me to place, but I have him, you know, sort of in the middle here because he seems like a vibe center of the Siga tribe. You know, they're surviving, as I think he said, or Jem said, or somebody said. Yeah, surviving. He's got potentially the Dumb and Dumber alliance with Charlie. I'm not sure if that's going to hold up, but you know, they seemed to be getting along well as they were failing the Savvy challenge, which by the way, just as like a quick aside, would either of you have ever figured that out? Because I watched that and I was like, no chance I would have ever noticed that.
No.
I think it was Gabby who had said that like that was her initial thought, and I don't know if I would have gotten there. I would have been like, okay, try 12, try 6, try like having that lock there. I think would have thrown me off to the point. Yeah.
I think it was just like there were just too many lines and drawing. Like it was just too hard to like really focus in on what was still left on the field. You know, like I don't think I would have gotten either. Do you know how much time they had?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it didn't seem like very long.
Yeah, they didn't.
Although the thing about was like the line something like look below or something like that. That might have triggered because like I did a virtual escape room as part of a team building exercise for the Gold Star Gamers, and boy, like everything that was there I knew meant something, and I think that's maybe the mindset you have to go into something like that. So maybe that would have triggered something, but you know I don't want to be like, oh, I would have got it, but yeah, it was tough. Like I was actually pretty impressed.
Yeah, no, I think they're trying to overcorrect with the, you know, like all the sweat and savvies and everything. Everyone was getting it every single time, and then the past couple of seasons they're like, we're gonna make them really hard. I mean, I didn't have to do the sweat and savvy, but the savvy puzzle that we had on 45 was impossible. I tried it.
I think there's no chance.
No idea. No chance.
No chance. The only way somebody would get that is if they had already seen that puzzle before and like knew how to do it.
And
it was crazy.
The holes in the bucket, like.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that was so mean. But also, like, shouldn't they have plugged them? I think they were just like running faster. I was like, I think you could just like hold it.
It was so funny. The first bucket gets brought up and it was just like a little like, and that was it. That went into the butt. Like, it's like, oh gosh, you gotta think smarter somehow, you know, like if you just go back and forth it. So which is why I was like, okay, you know, Jelinski's move to decide to not do it anymore. It could have been fair. Like I'd be curious to see if they could have actually finished it, but I don't know, maybe they couldn't have. So
he made it sound like mathematically it wasn't going to happen. Like when I talked to him, but
okay. I mean, I believe that. But
maybe if he had several hours, he could have.
Then he would have been just fine.
So for my number 12, once again, we are a complete match here. I have Ben as my number 12, but this one I felt was the hardest one for me to place because I think when I was originally making this ranking, he was like high up. Like I had him as like 4 or 5. Then he went way down because it's just like everyone is talking about him in such a good way, being like, this guy's so positive. He's bringing us good vibes. He makes us more confident and more excited and happy and whatever. He has a Dumb and Dumber alliance. But then there's the potential women's alliance. And who are they going to take out? It's either Ben or it's going to be Tim. And if they decide that we need Tim's physicality, then Ben has to go. And Tim is definitely a stronger challenge competitor. But just all the vibes makes me think that he should be higher up than Tim. There was also an interesting part of the description of the next episode, which I just read, like, couple hours ago, which was like there was like a Taylor Swift versus Metallica battle in this
Oh,
next
I saw
episode.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be Charlie and Ben. Like there's
It's
no
Charlie and
other.
Ben, which, you
Yeah.
know, I don't think this is gonna lead to like, you know, anything significant, but like, hey,
I hope
if
it
this
does.
causes
I
their
hope I
rift
hope
in
I hope
their,
one of them goes because it's, you know, like
Yeah.
Shake
it's
It
a
Off
non-zero
versus Enter
chance that
Sandman
whatever
becomes a
happens.
hot debate. I'd love it.
Yep. Yep. A non-zero chance. And I think Charlie's in a better position to win if they have to go head to head. So yeah, that's why I put Ben as number 12. 13, I have Liz. I think, you know, immediately she was shown to have a pretty spotty social game where she like, you know, they were at the ocean and then she was just saying like, oh, I have all these businesses. I sold them. I'm awesome. And then it immediately cuts to Tevin being like, yeah, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. She's also allergic to coconut, which like I don't think it'll affect her this next day or the next episode, but that, I mean, I couldn't imagine playing Survivor without coconut. Like you rely on that. So I'm really curious to see how she's going to hold up physically as she gets deeper in the game. But yeah, for now, I have her as number 13.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like she is then eating nothing. I mean, depending on like what beach they're on,
Worms,
maybe a
you
papaya,
know?
maybe
Yeah,
a worm.
papaya.
But like, yeah, that's rough for her. That's really
It is.
unfortunate.
It is. That's really tough. So good
I'm
on
allergic.
her.
I'm
Like she
allergic
is
to
pretty awesome.
sand. I'm allergic to salt water, so it might be a challenge.
It's a little bit of a rough one. Yeah,
Yeah.
being on Fiji. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, I know. Okay. We'll diverge in the bottom. What is it? We got like 5 people left. There's room. In spot 13, I have Banu. I think that I'm not feeling great about the Purple Tribe's chances, you know, given that their communication was already kind of poor and they lost kind of like a bigger-ish guy. Also, I love in the next time on the scene of Bonnie going, yes! So good. Like, honestly, yeah, I love Banu. I think he's so sweet. Like, he just seems to be so like earnestly, like really passionate about everything he says, which I appreciate. But I also think that I just have a hard time seeing a group in that Purple Tribe turning against him should they go to tribal. He's strong. He's very jacked. So if they're going by strength, it won't be him. And then I don't think that they'll perceive him as like a huge strategic threat at this point. Like I don't know that he's trying to mobilize something against anybody else. Like I noticed in some of the strategic conversations, he seems very much like a more of a listener and a supporter. Like he's like, yeah, you know, Tiff has a really good point here. Like we should listen to this. So I just don't necessarily see him being viewed as a threat at this point. In spot 14, a couple points lower than you, I have Venus. This might be our biggest disparity of the week. So Venus, so I am not sure what to feel about her. I'll say I think Venus like terrifies me. Like if I was there with her, I would be like, ah! It's hard to put a finger on why, but she just kind of does. My like initial sense was that in terms of like vibe and just temperament, it felt like she didn't really fit in with this tribe. We had that weird moment with like Soda taking the you know, tribal idol right in front of her and she kind of has a reaction. Also, I noticed in the initial marooning when Soda is making the like not me joke, Venus looks like she's not having that at all. Like if you screen grab Venus's face, she's literally like that's the face that she makes. And immediately off the bat, I was like, ooh, you know, we have some really like enthusiastic out there people on this tribe. Like, is she going to be able to fit in with them? I think it bodes well that like Soda was supporting her, as you said, when Randon comes to Soda is talking about Venus. But it's also still true that Venus was caught searching for idols this early in the game. And we got to see how Soda feels about that. Soda seemed unconcerned, but we didn't get to see how anybody else on the tribe feels about that. All we know at this point is that Soda is you know, pro Venus in this Randon versus Venus thing that might be happening. But I'm just not convinced that the rest of the tribe is going to be on board with that. And also in the next time on, there's a clip of her like saying she's pissed, like might not be getting along with people super well. So I'm not the most confident in her should Nami go to tribal. But the reason I think, honestly, the reason I have her like in 14th as opposed to lower is just because that tribe seems to be communicating well. And I don't know that they'll go to tribal. So.
Yeah. It might be one of those tribes that like just like has all this pent up frustration. And then once they hit the merge, they just
Yes,
shatter
the
across everybody
festering
else.
tribe. They're
Yep,
just gonna
yep.
fester. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Bello on 45. So, you know,
Yeah.
they're totally safe, but there were just all these like tensions that were just building up, and I could totally see Nami being one of those. Um, so for 14, I have Banu. Everything you said, you know, I thought that screaming at Jess the next time on Survivor was hilarious, but it tells me that okay, they're struggling yet again on the challenge. They have a good chance of losing. And 2, maybe it's going to come down to Banu versus Jess in the end. Obviously, I haven't said Jess yet. I think she's a little bit lower, but just because, like, for reason you said, Banu, he's still an athletic person. They might still feel like they need him. He was brought in for the vote to end up sending home Jelinski, and he's like been shown talking with a lot of the players on the team too. And yeah, so I have him as 14. 15, I have Tim from Siga. So I think he's my lowest on Siga. He's the one who first clocked the potential all-women's alliance, and he already made comments about taking out a woman to Charlie and to Ben. So I think if he does continue to push this fight, he is almost definitely going to lose. He doesn't have the extra vote. He's aware that he doesn't have the extra vote. So if he's smart, he's not going to be pushing for that just yet. But yeah, I think he's in a tough position, and I don't know. I haven't really heard too much from him. He doesn't seem to be giving the good vibes that Ben's giving, and doesn't have like a tight alliance yet. So I think he's in the most dangerous spot if Siga goes to tribal.
Yeah. What's the point of this? We should just write down, because I have Tim in spot 15 as well. We should have just like, you know,
we have the same bottom two.
Great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike. No, it's true. Yeah, Tim, I think, is in a bit of a rough position. I just have to say, I really liked him. Like something about his kind of deadpan, like almost very like normal energy. It just really cracks me up, surrounded by, you know, all the wild people that go on Survivor. So I like him a lot, but I think that for him to like survive, should Green go to tribal, he needs to forge connections with Mariah and Jem. Like I think he needs to target somebody like Maria, who's getting a lot of attention. Otherwise he's cooked. Like you know, going against the Girls Alliance that now he knows has an extra vote is just not a good way to go. So I'm hoping that he can realize that and course correct a little bit. Spot 16, I have Randon. I don't think he's doing wonderfully. You know, we see Venus, I assume, is now very much against him. Soda really does not trust him. And I believe wholeheartedly that Soda went to Tevin and told him about that immediately, which means it maybe got to Hunter. Like, I just think that this probably spread through the tribe very quickly, that Randon is not somebody to be trusted. But the reason he's not the lowest is because I don't know that I think Nami is going to go to tribal. I think they've been communicating really well. And I think he might be safe another week just based on the virtue of the rest of his tribe.
Well, it seems like originally our bottom two are the same. I'm wondering if I'm going to do a last second pivot just to make things interesting.
Please go for it.
So originally I put Jess as 17, but I'm moving her up to 16 just because I want to believe Yanu can win this. And in the next time on Survivor, we see that, yeah, okay, Banu is yelling at Jess, but that's too obvious, right? That's too obvious. And at the same clip, you see Orange actually drop their blocks too. So I think Siga is most likely to win that, and it'll be down to a race of Yanu and of Nami. And I'm just hoping maybe, you know, Yanu can figure it out. They bring up that Jess yell was just to throw people off. But the thing is with Jess at 16 is that they're the only tribe where we actually truly know for sure what the dynamics are, where she was positioned. It seemed like no one was really talking to her. Everyone's kind of sussed out about her. You know, Kenzie and Tiffany both agreed that, you know, Jess isn't talking strategy with them. She's hard to get a read on. I do think there's a chance that Jess is able to potentially move the votes onto maybe like Banu, for example, if she is able to kind of get her brain fog out of it, because that was something she brought up, like saying that she can't really think, that she's having trouble with sleeping. Like, I'm hoping like she gets in like a good night of rest after tribal council, comes back refreshed, and then completely changes her game, because I think she's like really quirky, really fun. I feel like she should on paper have a really strong social game. So maybe it's just because of the elements and like her struggling that's putting her in a really tough spot. But once she's able to adjust to that, I think she will be a much better player than what we've seen so far. So I have her, I'm locking her in now at 16, which leaves for number 17, I have Randon. I think Randon's in a really tough spot, as you mentioned. He targeted Venus, immediately loses trust from both Venus and Soda. Venus absolutely is going to be gunning for him at the first opportunity she gets, and Soda already took Venus's side, so she'll probably join in too. Pretty much, I think his only path to surviving this next tribal, if they end up losing, is he has to win over Hunter, Tevin, and Tevin's extra vote. And that's going to be really hard, especially because their tribe, they don't need the physicality as much as the other tribe. Randon, they've already got Tevin and they've got Hunter. So like Randon isn't needed for physicality. So, and I don't think I've really seen him been doing like the puzzles and stuff too. So I think he's one of the most exposed players. So I have him as 17.
Yeah, I totally agree. Spot 17, then I have Jessica. Just to like, let me state for the record. First of all, I love Jessica. I like her a lot. I feel like if I was there, I would want to work with her because I just find her really funny and like
Exactly,
and
yeah.
interesting. I am like really hopeful that this is a comeback story for her, a la like Emily or like a Carolyn, two people who had like maybe a rough premiere and then ended up, doing really well. But I feel like she just has a lot of things going against her right now. And I feel like being perceived as the weakest and then her, brain fog from not sleeping. I feel like those she could come back from. But honestly, the biggest thing is the fact that everyone has said that they feel like they can't get a read on her. And that is like, I don't see how that changes. Because even if she makes an effort to be more open, I think people do remember kind of those early days of like, why did I feel like I was getting nothing from you? Yeah, so I want her to make it through, but I'm just really nervous for her. Really nervous.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
All right, the picks are locked in. We had 2 locks of the week. Both our competitors had Tim at 15 and Ben in 12. The biggest disparity of the week, there were not many. Austin had Venus in spot 11, while Frannie had her in spot 14. Again, picks are locked in. If you want to play along, please do any of your picks in the comments section below. Feel free to keep score and play along. I think we can all agree on the honor system here. Also, if you get a chance, like the video, subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell, do all that stuff. This has been awesome. Like, this is the first time I've ever like sat back and just like witnessed and just the strategy and all the insights you two bring. And this is such a weird, dumb, nerdy pursuit. The fact that you're playing along is I always am so touched. I always get so much out of this. I enjoy it so much. I hope you do at home. Frannie, Austin, rookie performance was fantastic. Frannie,
incredible, so good.
Thank you.
Frannie's a vet, so the bar is very high for her. And
I'm hoping the rest of the Reba plus Kellie can keep it up. I put some serious work prepping for this. So Drew, I'm talking to you. I know you like doing things last second. Don't let us down.
You better not be slacking.
I'm really concerned, not because of you, Frannie, but because of Austin. So I need this so bad. But if we all end up in your wedding party, Frannie, good luck finding a dress that makes all of us look good. That's what I'm going to say. Good luck.
Yeah.
I have like my shoulders are pointy, so good luck with that.
I've noticed that. Noticed that.
Yeah. Thank you for not calling it out, though. I appreciate it. I'm very sensitive about my pointy shoulders. All right, that's it. We've kept everybody here way too long. Until next time, for Austin, for Frannie, myself, join us next week when it's going to be me squaring off against Kellie, and we hope to see you again for even more of the Survivor Power Rankings.
Awesome.